I trusted my husband with our life savings, until I found out where every dollar went. Marcus told me he invested our life savings in cryptocurrency. That's what he said when I asked why our joint account showed $847 instead of the $180,000 we'd saved over 12 years. I stood in our kitchen holding my laptop, staring at the screen while he stirred his coffee like we were discussing the weather. "It's temporary," he said without looking at me. "The market's down, but it'll bounce back." I felt my hands shaking. We were supposed to use that money for our dream restaurant. I'd spent 2 years developing recipes, finding the perfect location, negotiating with the landlord. The lease signing was in 3 days. But something in his voice didn't sound right. The way he avoided eye contact. The way his hand trembled slightly as he lifted his cup. I'd been married to Marcus for 14 years. I knew when he was lying. I just didn't know yet how big the lie actually was. That morning would change everything I thought I knew about my husband, my marriage, and my entire future. If you're watching this video, please like and subscribe to the channel, and tell me in the comments section where you're listening to my revenge story from. I want to know how far it has reached. My name is Claire Hoffman, and I'm 42 years old. I learned to cook from my grandmother in her small apartment in Brooklyn. She taught me that food wasn't just about eating. It was about love, memory, and bringing people together. When I met Marcus at a culinary expo 15 years ago, I thought I'd found someone who understood that. He was a software developer, steady and practical. While I dreamed big, he handled the numbers. We made a good team, or so I believed. We saved carefully. Every bonus he got, every catering job I took on weekends, every tax return went straight into our joint savings account. We called it the restaurant fund. Marcus even created a spreadsheet tracking our progress. By last month, we'd finally hit our target of $180,000. I'd found the perfect space in downtown Portland, a corner location with huge windows and exposed brick. The owner loved my concept, a farm-to-table restaurant focusing on grandmother's recipes from different cultures. Everything was falling into place. Until that Tuesday morning when I checked our account balance. I set my laptop down slowly. "Marcus, I need you to explain this again. Where exactly is our money?" He finally looked at me, and I saw something I'd never seen before in his eyes. Fear. "I told you. Cryptocurrency. Bitcoin specifically. I moved it 6 months ago when the price dipped. It was supposed to be a smart investment." 6 months ago. He'd been managing our money for 6 months without telling me. "You didn't think to mention this?" My voice came out quieter than I expected. "Claire, you were so focused on the restaurant plans. I didn't want to stress you out with investment details. Besides, it was supposed to grow. We were supposed to have even more money by now." I walked to the window, trying to process what he was saying. Our apartment overlooked a small park where children played every morning. Everything looked normal out there. But inside, my world was crumbling. "I need to see the investment account," I said. "Show me the crypto wallet or whatever it's called." Marcus hesitated. "It's complicated. The platform I used." "Show me. Now." Something in my tone made him move. He pulled out his phone, fingers sliding across the screen. But instead of opening an app, he just stood there. "Marcus." He looked up, and I saw his eyes were wet. "Claire, I need to tell you something. The truth." My stomach dropped. Whatever was coming next was worse than I'd imagined. "There is no cryptocurrency investment," he said quietly. "Elite." The words hung in the air between us. I couldn't breathe. I couldn't think. The kitchen suddenly felt too small, too hot. "Then where is our money?" I whispered. Marcus sat down heavily in a chair. "I gave it to someone. Someone who needed it more than we did." My mind raced through possibilities. His parents. They were wealthy. His brother? They barely spoke. Who? He looked straight at me, and what he said next shattered everything. "Vanessa. I didn't know anyone named Vanessa. Who the hell is Vanessa?" Marcus started crying, actual tears rolling down his face. In 14 years of marriage, I'd seen him cry maybe twice. Once when his grandmother died. Once during our wedding vows. She's my daughter, he whispered. My 19-year-old daughter. The room tilted. I grabbed the counter to steady myself. What? I had a relationship before we met. Her mother, Kelly, got pregnant. We were young, barely 20. Kelly didn't want me involved. She moved to Seattle, raised Vanessa alone. I sent child support for years, but Kelly said it was easier if I stayed away. I thought that was best. I thought I was doing the right thing. My brain couldn't process this. Marcus had a daughter. A 19-year-old daughter he'd never mentioned. Not once in 15 years. Why didn't you tell me? My voice sounded distant, like it belonged to someone else. I was ashamed. When we met, Kelly had cut off contact completely. She said Vanessa didn't need a part-time father, confusing her life. So I convinced myself it was over. That chapter was closed. I slid down to sit on the kitchen floor. My legs wouldn't hold me anymore. Marcus stayed in his chair, talking to the table instead of me. Last year, Kelly got sick. Cancer. She died in March. 7 months ago. He'd gone to a tech conference in Seattle for a week. I'd been so busy with restaurant planning I barely noticed. The funeral, I said. Yes. Vanessa reached out through Kelly's lawyer. She wanted to meet me. She was angry, confused, and grieving. She'd just learned I existed, that her mother had kept me away all these years. And you didn't think to tell your wife? Marcus finally looked at me. I didn't know how. How do you tell someone you've been lying by omission for 14 years? I thought I'd meet her once, help her process everything, then figure out how to tell you. But then she needed money. Her mother's medical bills wiped out everything. Vanessa was in her second year at the University of Washington, studying medicine. She was about to drop out. So you gave her our restaurant money. It wasn't a question. Marcus nodded. $50,000 in April for tuition. $40,000 in June for her apartment after she got evicted. $30,000 in July when her car broke down. $20,000 in August for her mother's funeral expenses and remaining medical bills. Small amounts here and there for food, books, emergencies. I kept thinking it would stop, that it was temporary, but she kept needing more. I did the math in my head. That was over $140,000. Where's the rest? I bought her a car in September. A reliable one, nothing fancy. $25,000. And I put $15,000 in a trust account for her, in case something happens to me. Our entire life savings. Gone. Given to a stranger. Because that's what she was. A stranger with his DNA. You could have told me, I said. We could have helped her together. We could have figured something out. I know that now. But I was scared you'd leave me. Scared you'd think I'd been lying all these years. You were lying all these years. The words came out flat. Marcus stood up, tried to come toward me, but I held up my hand. Don't. He stopped. Claire, I know I messed up. I know this is huge. But Vanessa, she's my daughter. She'd lost everything. Her mother, her home, her future. What was I supposed to do? You were supposed to tell me the truth. I was yelling now, standing up. You were supposed to trust me enough to share this. You were supposed to remember that I'm your partner, your wife. That money wasn't just yours to give away. It was ours. Our dreams. Our future. I'll fix this, Marcus said desperately. I'll get the money back. I'll borrow from my 401k. I'll take a second job. We'll get to the restaurant. I promise. I laughed, a bitter sound that didn't feel like it came from me. The lease signing is in 3 days, Marcus. 3 days. I've already given the landlord first and last month's rent from our personal account. The equipment deposits are due. The contractor starts next week. My phone rang. I looked at the screen. It was Patrick, the landlord. Perfect timing. I answered, my voice somehow steady. Hi, Patrick. Claire, I'm calling about the lease signing Friday. I just wanted to confirm everything's on track. I've got another party interested, But I promised you first right of refusal. I looked at Marcus. He looked destroyed, sitting there with his head in his hands. Actually, Patrick, I need to push the signing back. Family emergency. Silence on the other end. Then how long? 2 weeks. My voice rose at the end, making it a question. I can give you 1 week. After that, I have to consider other offers. I'm sorry, Claire. Business is business. He hung up. 1 week to replace $180,000. Impossible. I walked to our bedroom and shut the door. I needed to think. My phone buzzed with a text from my best friend Jasmine. She was supposed to be my restaurant manager. Still on for lunch tomorrow to finalize the menu? I stared at the message, unsure how to respond. I didn't sleep that night. Marcus tried to talk to me twice through the bedroom door, but I couldn't face him. My mind spun in circles. 14 years of marriage. Has any of it been real? What else had he hidden? I thought about Vanessa, this 19-year-old girl I'd never met who now had our entire future. Was she even real? Maybe this was all some elaborate lie covering something worse. Maybe he had a gambling problem. Maybe he had another family. Maybe he was dying and trying to settle debts. By sunrise, I'd made a decision. I needed to see proof. I needed to meet Vanessa and understand what had really happened to our money. If she was real, if the story was true, then maybe we could figure something out. If Marcus was still lying, I needed to know. I opened the bedroom door. Marcus was asleep on the couch, his laptop still open on the coffee table. I grabbed my phone and texted him, even though he was right there. I want Vanessa's phone number. Now. Marcus woke up, saw the text, and immediately started typing. My phone buzzed. He'd sent a Seattle area code number and an address. She lives near the university, he said, voice hoarse. Claire, you don't have to do this. Yes, I do. I was already pulling up flights to Seattle on my phone. There was one leaving Portland at noon. I'm going to talk to her. I'm going to see where our money went. And then I'm going to decide what happens next. What do you mean? Fear crossed his face again. I mean, I don't know if I can stay married to someone who lies to me for 14 years, who throws away our dreams without even asking. Marcus stood up. Claire, please. Don't make any decisions yet. Let me come with you. Let me help explain. You've explained enough. I booked the flight. I'm going alone. I'll be back tomorrow night. I packed a small bag while Marcus watched from the doorway. When I walked past him to leave, he grabbed my hand. I love you. Whatever happens, know that I love you. I pulled my hand away. Love isn't supposed to feel like this. The flight to Seattle was only an hour, but it felt endless. I kept replaying everything in my mind. How had I missed this? Were there signs I ignored? I thought about last year, about Marcus's mood shifts. He'd seemed stressed, distracted. I'd assumed it was work pressure. He'd been traveling more. I'd assumed it was normal. How stupid had I been? The woman next to me on the plane asked if I was okay. I realized I was crying. Family stuff, I managed to say. She nodded sympathetically and didn't ask more questions. I was grateful. When we landed, I took a cab straight to the address Marcus had given me. It was a modest apartment building near the University of Washington campus. Student housing, probably. I stood outside for 10 minutes, trying to decide what to say. Finally, I texted the number Marcus had given me. Vanessa. This is Claire, Marcus's wife. I'm outside your building. Can we talk? 3 minutes passed. Then 5. Maybe she wasn't home. Maybe she'd blocked the number. Maybe this was all fake, and I was standing outside some random building looking foolish. Then my phone rang. Hello. You're really here? A young woman's voice, surprised and uncertain. I'm really here. 4th floor, apartment 4C. The door buzzed and I went in. The building was clean but old, with worn carpet and flickering hallway lights. I climbed the stairs slowly, my heart pounding. What was I going to say to her? At apartment 4C, the door opened before I could knock. The girl standing there looked so much like Marcus it hurt. Same dark eyes, same slight build, same nervous habit of running fingers through her hair. I'm Vanessa, she said quietly. I know who you are. Dad showed me pictures. Dad. She called him Dad. Something about that word made this all suddenly, devastatingly real. Can I come in? She stepped aside. The apartment was tiny. A studio with a kitchenette, a bed, a desk covered in textbooks. Medical textbooks. The walls were bare except for one photo. A woman who must have been Kelly. We sat on opposite ends of her small couch. Neither of us spoke for a moment. Finally, Vanessa said, "He told you." He told me. I didn't know about you, she said quickly. I mean, I knew he was married, but I didn't know he was hiding me from you. He said you knew about me, that you were okay with him helping me. Another lie. Of course Marcus had lied to her too. I didn't know you existed until yesterday. Vanessa's face crumpled. Oh God. I'm so sorry. He gave me money. A lot of money. I thought it was his money. He said you were both successful and didn't mind helping. I felt a strange wave of sympathy for her. She was a victim in this too. Tell me what happened. From the beginning. She took a deep breath and started talking. My mom raised me alone. She told me my father wasn't in the picture, that he'd left when she got pregnant. I grew up thinking he was a bad person who'd abandoned us. Then she got sick. She was diagnosed with stage 4 pancreatic cancer last year. It moved fast. The treatments were expensive and mostly didn't work. She died in March. Vanessa's voice shook, but she kept going. Right before she died, she told me the truth. That my father had wanted to be involved, but she'd pushed him away. She'd thought it was better for me to have no father than a part-time one. She gave me his name and phone number. Said I should reach out if I wanted to. Did you? Not right away. I was angry at both of them. But after she died, I was alone. Completely alone. No other family. Her medical bills had destroyed everything. I was about to lose our apartment, about to drop out of school. I had nowhere to go. So I called him. I could picture Marcus getting that call. The daughter he'd been told to forget suddenly back in his life. He came to Seattle the next day. He met me for the first time at a coffee shop near campus. I was so nervous. I didn't know what to expect. But he cried when he saw me. He said I looked just like my mom. He apologized for not being there. Said he'd tried to be involved, but my mom had cut him off when I was 5. Said he'd sent child support until I turned 18. I didn't know that. My mom never told me. Vanessa wiped her eyes. He seemed genuinely sorry. Genuinely heartbroken that he'd missed my childhood. So when he offered to help financially, I thought he was just trying to make up for lost time. I didn't realize he was stealing from you. He wasn't stealing, I said, surprising myself. It was his money too. He just should have told me. But it was your dream, Vanessa said. He told me about the restaurant. About how you'd been planning it for years. I asked him if he was sure about helping me, if it would hurt your plans. He said no, that you had plenty. I laughed bitterly. We had exactly enough for the restaurant. Nothing more. Vanessa stood up suddenly. I have to fix this. I have to give the money back. Vanessa, do you have the money? She hesitated. Some of it. Maybe 60,000. I paid off most of my mom's bills. The tuition is already paid to the university. The car is worth maybe 15,000. I did quick math. Even if we got 75,000 back, we'd still be more than 100,000 short. Not enough for the restaurant. I can drop out of school, Vanessa said desperately. Get a refund this semester. Sell everything. Get a job. No. The word came out firm. You're not dropping out. Your mom wanted you to be a doctor. You're going to be a doctor. But your restaurant, it's just a dream. Your education is your future. I surprised myself by meaning it. Looking at this girl, this 19-year-old who'd lost everything and was trying so hard to rebuild, I couldn't take away her chance. Even if it meant losing mine. I don't understand, Vanessa said. You should hate me. I don't hate you. You didn't do anything wrong. You didn't know. I stood up. But I need you to do something for me. Anything. I need you to be honest with me about something. My husband, your father, has he given you any money in the past month? Since September? Vanessa looked confused. No. Why? Because the account statement I'd checked showed withdrawals through last week. Small ones, 500 here, 1,000 there. If Vanessa hadn't received them, where had that money gone? No reason, I said, not wanting to worry her with my suspicions. Can I ask you something else? Do you want a relationship with Marcus? A real one? She looked at the photo of her mother on the wall. I don't know. Part of me does. Part of me is still angry that he wasn't there all those years. But he's the only family I have left. So maybe. Then let me give you some advice. Don't let him buy your love. If you're going to have a relationship, it should be because you both want it, not because he feels guilty or obligated. Vanessa nodded slowly. He does feel guilty. I can see it every time we talk. Of course he does. He missed everything. But guilt isn't the same as love. And money isn't the same as presents. I headed toward the door. I should go. I have a flight back tonight. Claire, wait. Vanessa grabbed a notebook from her desk and scribbled something. This is my real phone number. The one my dad has is about to be disconnected because I can't pay the bill. But this is my new one. If you ever want to talk, or if there's any way I can help, please call me. I took the paper. Thank you for being honest with me. Thank you for not hating me. I left her apartment feeling strange. I'd come to Seattle angry, ready to blame this girl for ruining my life. But she was just a kid who'd lost her mother, and was trying to survive. The villain in this story wasn't Vanessa. It was Marcus and his lies. On the flight home, I pulled out my phone and looked at our bank statements again. Those small recent withdrawals, $500 here, $800 there. 10 transactions in the past month, totaling about $6,000. If Vanessa didn't get that money, where did it go? I texted Marcus. We need to talk. Be home when I land. Marcus was waiting when I got home at 9 that night. He jumped up from the couch when I walked in. How did it go? Did you meet her? Is she okay? She's fine. She's real. The story is mostly true. I set down my bag. But I have questions. Relief flooded his face. Anything. I'll tell you everything. There have been withdrawals in the past month. Small amounts. Vanessa says she didn't get them. So where did that money go? Marcus's relief vanished. That was for. Don't lie to me again. I'm done with lies. He sat down heavily. I have another daughter. The room went silent. I couldn't have heard that right. What? Twins, actually. Vanessa has a twin brother, Nathan. Kelly had twins. I didn't know until last month. I sat down before I fell down. You've got to be kidding me. Vanessa didn't know either. Apparently Kelly gave Nathan up for adoption right after birth. It was a closed adoption. She never told anyone, not even me. But Nathan turned 18 and requested his birth records. He tracked down Vanessa through DNA testing sites. Let me get this straight, I said slowly. You have two 19-year-old children you never told me about. And you've been sending money to both of them. Just to Nathan for the past month. He contacted Vanessa, she told me about him. His adoptive parents died in a car accident 2 years ago. He's been in foster care. He aged out of the system on his birthday and had nowhere to go. I couldn't just ignore him. You couldn't just tell your wife either, apparently. My voice was ice. Marcus put his head in his hands. I know how this sounds. But Claire, they're my kids. They had no one. What was I supposed to do? Let them be homeless? Let them starve? You were supposed to tell me. I was shouting again. You were supposed to trust that I'm not a monster who would say no to helping people in need. You were supposed to remember that we're supposed to be partners. I was scared. Of what? That I'd leave you. I stood up. Well, congratulations. You've guaranteed that outcome. I walked to the bedroom and started pulling out a suitcase. Marcus followed me. Claire, please. Don't do this. We can work through this. Work through what, Marcus? Work through 14 years of lies? Work through you having secret children? Work through you throwing away every dream we built together without even asking me. I was throwing clothes into the suitcase now, not caring what I grabbed. Where will you go? Jasmine's place. Or a hotel. I don't know and I don't care. Please. Just stay tonight. Let's talk about this when we've both calmed down. I zipped the suitcase and turned to face him. I am calm. That's the problem. I'm too calm. I should be throwing things and screaming. But instead I just feel empty. Hollow. Like everything I thought my life was, it was a lie. Not everything. Marcus said desperately. I love you. That's real. That's always been real. Love isn't enough when there's no trust. I picked up my suitcase and walked past him to the door. He didn't try to stop me this time. I stayed with Jasmine for 3 days. She let me cry, rage, and process without judgment. On day 4 my phone rang. Unknown Seattle number. Hello. Claire? It's Vanessa. Please don't hang up. I'm not going to hang up. What's wrong? It's my dad. He's been calling me nonstop. He sounds really bad. Desperate. He keeps asking me if there's any way to get the money back faster. Says he'll lose you if he doesn't fix this. I sighed. He's already lost me, Vanessa. The money isn't the real problem. I know. He told me everything. About Nathan. About lying to both of us. Claire, I'm so sorry. I never wanted to cause problems in your marriage. You didn't cause anything. Marcus did. There was a pause. Then Vanessa said something that surprised me. Nathan and I have been talking. We want to meet you. If you're willing. We think there might be a way to help, but we want to explain it in person. What kind of way? Just trust me? Can you come back to Seattle? We'll pay for your flight. 2 days later, I was back in Seattle, sitting in a coffee shop with Vanessa and a young man who looked exactly like Marcus but with lighter hair. Nathan. Thank you for coming, Nathan said. I know this whole situation is insane. That's one word for it, I agreed. Vanessa pulled out some papers. Okay, so Nathan and I have been talking. We looked at our finances, and we think we can get you about $90,000 back right now. How? I can get a partial tuition refund if I take a semester off, Vanessa said. That's about $25,000. Nathan can sell his car, he got one from your husband too. That's another $20,000. And we both have savings from part-time jobs, about $10,000 each. Plus, if your husband sells the car he bought me, that's another $25,000. I shook my head. I told you I don't want you dropping out. It's 1 semester, Vanessa said. I can work, save up, and go back in the fall. It's not forever. Nathan leaned forward. But that's only $90,000. You need more, right? We need at least another $90,000 to make the restaurant work. What if you had partners? Nathan said. Partners? Vanessa and I inherited some money when we turned 21 from our mom's parents, who died before we were born. It's been in trust. About $50,000 each. We could invest it in your restaurant as silent partners. I stared at them. You want to invest your inheritance in a restaurant owned by your father's wife who you just met. We want to invest in you, Vanessa said. Your husband showed us your business plan, your recipes, your vision. It's amazing. And honestly, we want to help fix what he broke. Plus, Nathan added, if the restaurant does well, we'd make money too. It's not charity. It's business. I felt tears building. These kids who owed me nothing, who had every reason to hate me, were offering me a lifeline. I don't know what to say. Say you'll think about it, Vanessa said. We can't access the trust until November, which is 3 weeks away. But if you can get your husband to loan his 401k or something for the immediate expenses, we can pay him back when our money comes through. I looked at both of them, These pieces of Marcus I'd never known existed. Why are you doing this? Nathan smiled sadly. Because our dad obviously loves you. And because Vanessa told me how kind you were to her. And because maybe we can make something good come out of this mess. I pulled out my phone and called Marcus. When he answered, I said 5 words that would change everything. Come to Seattle. We need to talk.